Welcome to post-semester BA English Complementary course in Journalism. Journalistic Practices. Chapter 1 Fundamentals of Communication. Part 4 News Editor. In the previous classes, we discussed the functions and responsibilities of chief editor. Now we learn news editor. Who is the news editor? He or she has the most important responsibility in the actual production of a newspaper. That means the actual person behind the production of a newspaper is news editor. That means his duty involves collection process, editing and final presentation of the news. He collects the news and editing it and presenting for the printing. So normally they will be in charge of the newsroom, and his or her major responsibility is in the selection of news stories. He or she allocates the different news to his or her news team and instructs reports on the news angles which are to be highlighted in the reports. That means the news editor will distribute the news according to or the news to his or her news team for further editing and presenting the news in a readable way. So a good news editor makes a great newspaper. So it is one of the soul, or it is one of the core aspect of a newspaper. A good news editor should be or must be need for a good newspaper. So he may or she may always consultation with the chief reporter, and then will decide what news stories should be covered in detail. So final authorities, they will be the final authority of producing the news or printing the news, and they will scan all kind of news. There will be many news. That means they will select its newsworthiness and they will scan it, or he or she may scan it, and they will prepare the dummy first page for printing. Then in some newspaper, the task of convening the morning news team or afternoon editorial news team, they will discuss it. Then the chief will arrange the chief editor arranges photographers and artists, act as a link with the advertisement department, arranges staff assignment, etc. They will prepare everything for the purpose of newsworthiness or readable thing. And his duties includes administrative or administration, and he or she may be a senior journalist guiding other journalists. They will give advices to the other journalists, and they he or she may have several years of experience, and they know the pressure and stress, audience and joys of the work. He or she may be willing to work in the late hours also, and these are the particulars of news editor. Next, we will discuss chief sub-editor. Who is chief sub-editor? Chief sub-editor. Chief sub-editor. Chief sub-editor, you know, the senior sub-editor or the chief sub-editor is the captain of the editorial section of news task. That means, you know, they will have, or he or she may be a senior person and have responsibility to see that copies are distributed among the sub-editors and to ensure that copies are edited properly, attractively, and give meaningful headings or headlines are given, and copies are free from libels, because if anything is inviting such kind of malicious, or if it has some kind of illegal thing, it will be scrutinized by this chief sub-editor, and she or he will make free from all kind of libels. Libels means legal penalties or legal notices or whatever it may be. It's also the duty of the chief sub-editor to coordinate the operation of the news desk also. So he or she will scrutinize or monitor it, and she will assist the editing process also. The edited copies are handed over to the printing section before the cut-off time. And the chief sub-editor, you know, usually he or she may be a senior executive, and he or she may have several years of experience in this case. Next, fourth one, sub-editor. Who is sub-editor? Sub-editor is also known as a copy editor. So there is another name for sub-editor. She or he may be known as copy editor. He or she plays a key role in the editing processes. That means normally we may say that he or she may be the midwife to the story. That means the unsung hero. The readers will not, or the readers will not know, or the deeds or the role of the people. That means the person will not be visible for the readers. So sub-editor is the presenter of news and reports. He or she should have a lawyer's analytical approach to see or read any news. She will scrutinize it, then make it, which enables him to understand a story quickly and come to the core of the matter. So he or she has to select important points to publish, or there will be hundreds of news, and she will make it, or she will select it and scrutinize it, then only she will make it ready for the printing. So all news stories destined to a daily or appear in a daily newspaper, whether written by staff reporter or otherwise, whatever it may be, must go through the sub-editor. So if the staff reporter made a news, or a staff reporter writes a news, or any other reporters, or any news from any corner, will go through with sub-editor only. And sub-editor has give appropriate headlines also. She or he will give proper headlines for the news or In the case of big newspaper, these sub-editors will be specialized, or they will be from specialized categories. They will be specialized in sports, investigation, films, commerce, science, and information. And each sub-editor will write or scrutiny according to their specialized groups. She or he check the facts, style, grammar, and other things. And a sub-editor's working hours are more regular than that of a reporter. Normally, she will be inside the press or inside the organization, and a sub-editor's daily or duty is fixed like any other office worker. The only difference is that the sub-editor to work in shifts, and his or her works begins in the late afternoon and goes up to 2 to 3 in the wee hours, not in the daytime. It happens in the wee hours only. That means in between 2 to 3 o'clock, till 2 to 3 o'clock, because in the morning the paper should be reached into the reader's hands. So that's why they have to work in the late midnight till the wee hours or till the morning. So the major qualities of sub-editors are given below. That's we are going to discuss now. The first one, he or she must be very accurate, or her eyes, she must have an eyes for accuracy. Second, analytical. First one, accuracy. So she must have accuracy for it. Accuracy. And second one, she or he must have an analytical mind. Analytical mind. Then third one, she or he must have a sense and ability to assess the public mind. Sense and ability to assess the mind. Then fourth one, he or she must be able to work in a team. She must be ready to, or he must be ready to work with a team. Teamwork. Then fifth one, she or he must know to summarize and boil down a long and tedious report. Next, sixth one, should be well read, must have very knowledgeable person, well read. Then next, current affairs background, she must or he must have sound current affairs background. Then next, eighth one, mastery over the language in which the newspaper is published. In any language which the newspaper is published, he or she must have a mastery of language. Mastery of a language. Then ninth one, makes swift decisions. She or he must be capable of swift decisions or gift of concentration. Capable of swift decision and concentration. And concentration. What concentration? A gift of concentration. Okay. And a gift of concentration. Concentration. And the 10th one is physically fit. He must be very physically healthy person. Physically fit. Physically fit. Because he must work in the wee hours also. The late hours and the wee hours also. That's why physically fit and willing to work in shifts and late into the night also. And these are the main functions or responsibilities or capabilities of the sub-editors. So that's all for this video.